707 days since your previous game. Despite the loss, must have felt good to pull on the sky blue jersey again.
Yeah, it was obviously awesome. I think initially the loss took its toll on me, and I probably struggled to see the light. But over the 24 hours post game, speaking to lots of friends and family, reflecting on the journey, I think I smelt the roses a bit, and realised the achievement itself to getting back there. It's also a big, it was a big build up, and now it's a big emotional weight off my shoulders. And I'm looking forward just to getting week in, week out footy in the sky blue, and digging my heels in with the boys and working hard to get out of this together. So yeah.
You mentioned your family and friends. How influential were they throughout the whole journey in your rehab?
Oh, incredibly influential. I couldn't have done it without them, to be honest. To be by my side and have my back through the good times and the last 2 years the bad times. It's unbelievable, and I'm extremely grateful. I've had some great support networks throughout, whether it's at home with my brothers, my sister, and my parents, with my girlfriend as well. Gabby, she's been awesome, and then all my close mates. Everyone at the club, the medical staff have been working overtime to get me back in the field. The other boys who I spent rehab with, we really grouped together to get each other through the hard times, and yeah, it's a massive team effort.
And when your name was read out by DC for the team that week, he said there was a massive cheer from the playing group. That must have felt good.
Yeah, it's nice. Like I said, the boys have always had my back, and to see their excitement for me being back in the mix, it was a good little confidence booster for me, I'd say.
Can you talk about what you've learned from this period? It must have grown in your mental strength and resilience.
Oh, it's changed who I am as a person for sure. I got a lot of perspective in rehab, and I think my ability, not my ability, but just become more professional and really learn how to treat my body, and like you said, the mental toughness side of things. Like I had some really dark days, and to find my way out of them, I think is a skill that I'll use not just in footy, but in life in general. And it hasn't always been negative. I've always said that. Like I try to find the positive side of this rehab, and I've changed for the better, not just as a footballer, but as a person.
What was the toughest moment, do you reckon, in those couple of years?
It's a good question, Tommy. There's been a few, but I'd say just missing the opportunities. There was obviously a few things there in the 2 years where you saw a few Australia A tours go. The boys went to Fiji and Tonga, which was something I wanted to be a part of. There's seeing my mate Dono played a World Cup. I obviously loved to see him do it, but that was sort of a goal of mine. So I guess that was tough. But yeah, I'd say just the opportunities, not being able to really be a footballer. You come in here and you're sort of by yourself, you're watching the boys train, and I can't really pinpoint a single moment that was the lowest. I wouldn't say it was that re-injury. I sort of straight away after that re-injury made a decision to try and stay positive. So I wouldn't say that was the lowest, but I'd just say just missing little opportunities, to reach my goals and just do what I love.
What would you say be not the most difficult, but the most uncomfortable times in that, having to get someone to help you shower or sit on the couch for days on end?
Now you've brought back some memories.
Right, okay, but
yeah.
Can you paint a picture of how grim it was there?
Oh, yeah. I remember my first rehab with my patella tendon. I had no function. I couldn't lift my leg up by myself. So if I wanted to, get out of bed, I'd have to have someone to come in, lift me out of bed. If I wanted to have a shower, I needed someone to shower me. If I wanted to get my piss bottle emptied, I needed someone to empty it for me. So it was just being that disabled. That's what put things in perspective for me. But yeah, it's just you got me going there. There was some dark times in that initial rehab. Just having no function in my leg for 6 weeks. I had some nights there where I couldn't sleep, and I felt bad asking my parents to get up, because so I just sort of laid in bed. It was dark for initially, but yeah, that's probably painting the picture for you.
And what about amongst the backdrop of a contract, of footballers playing contract to contract, right? There was time where you're going to come off contract next year as well. What's that like when there's uncertainty around your broader future and you're trying to overcome injury and you literally can't be out on the field playing? It must be so hard.
Yeah, I guess your contract situation, it's based off performance, and in not being able to perform, that sort of reflects on it. And I guess me trying to right now, I'm trying to not think about it too much. I'm just so focused on getting back. It's not about that. It's more about just playing consistent footy and letting my footy do the talking. But I put full faith in the people I've got around me to sort that out. I don't try to worry about it. Things. My whole mindset is if I work as hard as I can be, then things will happen. So that's how I looked at it.
Talk about the re-injury and you originally coming through sort of club footy, getting back there, and then sort of injury happens. When you're going through now a similar process or went through a similar process, were there any sort of mental hurdles you have to overcome, or was that sort of positive mindset the entire way just carried you through?
Right, in this block right now.
In the block, sort of getting back, playing Waratahs A stuff.
Oh, yeah.
When you got into the debut.
Yeah, I think this block's been a lot better. It's been smoother. Like I can't remember the last time I put 4 weeks in a row playing footy. I think it would have been back in 2021. So last time was very niggly. Like I came off a pretty short time training with the team. I came into a Waratah A game. I ruptured my toe, so that put me back for another 4 weeks. And then I jumped into a Randwick game, a bit underdone, and that's when the rupture is. But the confident thing for me is I played 60 minutes, 80 minutes, 80 minutes and 20 minutes, and I put that back to back, which gives me great confidence. And if I can stay in the park and play consistent footy, I back myself to play some good footy.
When you're getting out there, did you sort of try for Jack, sort of get the task back into it? Did you sort of take that moment, look around and be like, okay, I'm back to where I belong, I've got the sort of confidence I can really sort of take the game on for the rest of this year?
Yeah, I guess so. I'd say in that moment I was more worried about the game situation, and I was sort of in the zone. I wasn't trying to think too much and get too excited, but there was definitely boosted my energy, and looking back on it, it did feel like it gave me the confidence to think I belong in Super Rugby and in that game. So yeah, for sure.
Speaking about it being a tough game to get over, what was tough about it, like in particular?
I think a few things. Obviously the build up for me coming back, and then to have a performance like that and to not get the win was tough. I sort of envisioned it a lot differently, but then I also think we've obviously had a tough couple of weeks, losing pretty closely. So that's our 4th loss in a row, pretty closely. That was tough. I'm not going to lie, but we've spoken about it all week. We only really improved that 10% because we know we're not playing great footy, but we're still only just losing. So we could if everyone can go out and try and find an extra 10%, then we'll be able to finish games and find our best footy, which I'm personally confident we can. Like we've got such a good side, and we're working extremely hard. But I think it's got to be now on the individual focus to find that extra 10%. And we obviously got a tough block of games coming up, but there's a feel amongst the group that it doesn't matter who we come against, doesn't matter where we play them. We know we can get the job done.
You were talking about seeing one of your mates playing at the World Cup and how that was pretty difficult, but in a way, does that also light the fire within you now that you're back with the Waratahs, that perhaps that's something you can aim towards?
Yeah, for sure. I probably wouldn't say it was difficult for me personally because it was a goal of mine. It was obviously unreal seeing Dono go out there and do his thing. I was so excited watching him play against Wales and be the best player on the field. Like it was a moment. For me and my family, we were really proud to associate ourselves with Dono, and to see him and his family on TV after is a great moment. But yeah, it was just definitely lit a fire. Seeing a lot of the boys I've come through the system with perform in the Wallabies jersey and perform well. It's something, it's a goal of mine that I haven't quite ticked off. I've had a little itch there with being in the squad back in 2020. So it's a goal of mine to try and get back playing some good footy here and push for higher honours.
And there's some real carrots there, aren't there, with the British and Irish Lions tour and then the Home World Cup? Yeah,
it's a great time for Australian rugby. It's very exciting. The British and Irish Lions tour, I remember being 13 years old when they came over last time, and to see all those games happen is something you want to be a part of and you dream to be a part of. And then the Home World Cup, you only have to look back last year to the Women's FIFA World Cup and how the country got behind them. I just think it'd explode in 2027, so I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Why do the guys think there was so much drop hill in that game? Like from all reports, it was reasonably dry. Has there been any talk around that and why that sort of was so scrappy?
Yeah, there hasn't been much talk about that, to be honest. Like I said, it's probably an individual sort of focus because I didn't find the ball too greasy or anything. But yeah, no, I don't think so. No.
Do you see the Brumbies as the benchmark of the Aussie teams at the moment, and what kind of prospects will they be?
Oh, you know what the Brumbies going to do? They've been probably the benchmark since I've been through the system in Super Rugby. So, you know, they're going to be, you know, physical up front. They're going to take it a set piece, but you can see that they're sort of starting to play a bit more footy. They're taking a lot more risk, and they're playing some good footy. So we just feel like discipline's a big thing for us. If we can be disciplined and play footy in the right area of the field, that'll take us a long way in the game for sure.
So all the Brumbies often, you know, they circle tail week as this important game to get up for. Can you speak of the rivalry from your perspective, what it means to sort of play the Brumbies?
Yeah, it's definitely a mutual feeling. Heading up the Hume Highway, I haven't been a part of a side that's, you know, got the win yet against the Brumbies. There's been some really tight contests, and it's something that I don't think the boys need to speak of to get up for. It's just one of those rivalries that you know it's coming and you know what to expect. It's just really ripping in and giving that extra little bit. So I know the boys are keen to head up there and do a job. So yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Just a couple of those boys that were coming through to under-20s and have a chance there. Anyone in particular match one go, all right, I want to take this guy on?
Oh, I really like the way Noah's playing recently. I think, you know, that missing it, I was disappointed he didn't go over the World Cup last year, but he went over and played for Toulon, and you know, I think he's come back and a better footballer for it, and I think he's done some really good things this year in the 10 jersey, and he's really made it his own. So I'm looking forward to go out there and playing against him for sure.